All right, it's week 12 or whatever the heck it is now. I'm kind of losing track. But basically, it is election time in Canada, and I've been doing a lot of talking on TikTok and social media, just chatting about politics and my opinions. And so, yeah, figure I would do a little bit more of a detailed breakdown here, just on my thoughts about politics and where we are and what I hope to accomplish. And so, yeah, basically, politics is annoying. I don't like to think about it, but the older you get, the more you kind of have to pay attention. It started with paying attention locally. It kind of made sense that the stuff that goes on in the city has a direct impact on your life, especially when you run businesses locally. What happens in town matters. And so it started locally, and then obviously it just kind of spirals out from there. You start paying taxes and you start paying more attention at how much is getting taken and what they're doing with it. And they love to waste tax money. It's super frustrating. I will be excited for the day that all of government is on blockchain technology, and every single penny, or at that point, ideally every single Satoshi in Bitcoin will be accounted for, and you'll be able to see every single Satoshi the government spends, and they cannot hide anything or inflate prices or give their friends deals without everybody knowing right away. So that's the hope. And so in Canada, it's mainly left and right. The Liberals versus the Conservatives, which is like the Democrats are the Liberals in Canada and the Republicans are like the Conservatives. And very similar, but the Liberals in Canada have just kind of gone off the rails. It's similar to what's happening in the UK. They're very heavily focused on green initiatives, on LGBTQAI rights, on everything, just like it's victim mentality. And it is trying to see who's the biggest victim and how they can help. And don't get me wrong, you want to help people that are struggling, but it's to the point where like it's just not helpful anymore. I give an analogy all the time that it's like if there's 100 people carrying a sheet of plywood above their head and somebody breaks their leg and they need to get carried on the plywood, it's like, okay, cool, man, jump on top. We got you. There's 99 of us. And then someone else gets hurt. And now it's 98 and 2. And then, well, you know, I'm kind of sick. And another person jumps up, and another person. And then eventually it's like, there's 50 people on the top of the plywood, and there's 50 below going like, what the hell? I can't carry all these people. This is getting too heavy. And there's a lot of people up there that don't need to be up there. They're just lazy and didn't want to do the work. And so, yeah, it's super frustrating. Social programs are important, and the Liberals are all for social programs. Conservatives also don't mind social programs when they're run well and efficiently and are a stepping stone to get your life back together. They're not like a permanent lifestyle the way you always will live. And so, yeah, like the Liberals have been in charge for 9 years now, and the economy is devastated. The housing market is broken. Healthcare is broken. Immigration is broken. It's just bad policy. It's terrible. Like in your own personal experience, you do anything with the government, you see it. You know, like you go to get your passport redone, you go to the DMV or whatever it's called in Canada, Service Ontario, and this isn't ripping the individual employees that work there. They're great people. They do the best they can, but it's just bureaucratic nonsense. There's a million hoops to jump through. For example, in BC, there's something like 60% of the cost of a new home build is like paperwork and permits. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy. And we want you know, to be safe, and you don't want to destroy the environment, and you want to be safe when you do building projects, but there's got to be a better common sense way to do it. And just I don't even know, man. It's just getting crazy out there. And so I went from being a liberal my whole life, growing up in an educator family, and the saying goes, you know, if you're not a liberal when you're young, you're heartless, and if you're not a conservative when you're older, you're stupid. And I feel like I made that transition about 10 years ago, and unfortunately, I voted for stupid Justin Trudeau the first time around because I wanted pot legalized, and boy, do I regret that decision. I would give it all back. Give it all back to go back in time and have Stephen Harper have another term. But learned my lesson, never voted Liberal again. And yeah, so, but like I said, you need both sides. And so we've had 9 years of Liberal. It's time for some conservative ideas. It's time for some people that run businesses to get in there and actually run Canada like a business. It is a business. Like, whether you want to think about it like that or not, you need to make money in order to pay for the programs. And if you're taxing everybody to death, you're removing the incentive for them to work hard. And so they don't want to work hard. And then you don't have as much tax money. And then you can't help the people you want to help. And so you tax more. And then people work less. And it's just this downward spiral that doesn't help. And so there needs to be this middle ground of like getting rid of the red tape, unleashing the energy sector, putting people back to work, and getting revenue that way. Like innovation. Revenue through innovation, not revenue through taxation. And Poilievre's latest thing is basically getting rid of capital gains tax if you're going to reinvest it back in Canada. So if you made a rental property and are doing pretty well with it right now, you can turn around and sell that rental property, not pay capital gains as long as you invest that money back in Canadian companies or upgrade an existing Canadian company that you have. Or the example they gave was if your business owned property around your business, you could sell a piece of the property, not pay capital gains on it, and then upgrade your building. So it's like, it's just going to unleash a ton of income into these Canadian businesses by not just taking half of their income from a project they sell or a piece of land they sell or stocks that somebody did well on. As long as you're going to reinvest it back in Canada, that's a great business-minded way to get more revenue and more business and more people back to work. There's two different approaches, and like I said, the Liberals love to tax their way into prosperity, which doesn't work, and the Conservatives like to work their way into prosperity. And you know, Liberals will be like, oh well, they're going to cut healthcare and they're going to cut policing and they're going to cut all these social programs, and on one hand you need to trim the fat and like get them down to a reasonable amount. And on the other hand, if we could get immigration under control and back to the normal numbers that we used to do, like we were the immigration beacon for everybody else. We did it so well. And over the last couple of years, we've just kicked the doors open and stopped vetting people. And it's absolutely wreaked havoc on the housing market and healthcare and all this stuff. Like, how can healthcare keep up when you have 1 million new people a year? Like, that's just, it's not tenable. Like, you can't keep up. So like I said, it's not that the Liberals are bad people or the Conservatives are racist, horrible misogynists. It's like both sides are trying to do good. They're trying to do good. They just have a different approach to the way to do it. And so we'll see what happens with this election. I sure hope the Conservatives and Pierre Poilievre win. The polls are scaring me a little bit, but I think it's happening what happened in the States, and it's just kind of fluff media pretending the polls are as good as they are, but who knows? The Polymarket bets are kind of saying the same thing, and they weren't in the States, so I really don't know. I'm hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. Hopefully a blue wave, and we get the Conservatives in and get back some common sense. We'll soon find out.